First up is a film called Borderlands, which is an adaptation of a video game series. And I will first off acknowledge I have not played the video game series, but I am aware of it. And I know that generally speaking, at least the first game in the franchise is regarded as a really good game, and it's on a lot of greatest game of all time lists, and it's just like not a style of game that I'm very good at, which is why I have not played it. But if I did not know that this was based on something that was popular and I just saw this, I would go, what is wrong with everybody who's played this game? Because this, oh my god, I don't even know. Like, forget it as a video game adaptation, because also we have been shown that you can adapt a video game well. I will admit that most of the better adaptations come from series versus the film world, things like Fallout, things like The Last of Us, but this is just a bad movie, because you could have taken some of the framework of the game and actually made it something. This is just, it's simultaneously so convoluted and yet also so simplistic. Like, every challenge is met with such ease. This movie also stars 2 Academy Award winners. It stars Cate Blanchett as a character. She's a bounty hunter called Lilith, and I love Cate Blanchett. And I was like, Cate, why? It stars Jamie Lee Curtis as a character called Tannis. You've also got Kevin Hart, which, fine, whatever. You've got Ariana Greenblatt. You've got Florian Moutonnou. You've got Edgar Ramirez. You've got Janita Gavankar. You've got Jack Black as the voice of a robot. And then it's directed by Eli Roth, who Eli Roth does not make films that are in my wheelhouse or interests necessarily. So that part for me, I was already a little hesitant, but I thought people were exaggerating when they were saying how bad this film was. No, it's pretty bad. It's very bad. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It's very bad. There's very limited character development, if any. The dialogue is so terrible. A lot of it, I'm pretty sure, is lifted from the games because they go out of their way to point out, like, the sound mix is different, and they're like, blah, 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 and you're like, okay, we get it. It's a line from the game. I think there are a lot of Easter eggs. Like I said, I have not actually played the games, but, I can see, this is the thing, they're not hidden Easter eggs. They're just like Easter eggs sitting out on the lawn, right? Because they're like, hey, look over there. That's a thing. Please like us. I am mind-boggled how this got made. Like, it makes me upset to think about how many, like, independent films could have been funded with the budget for this. And so I subjected my friend to this film. I'm so sorry. We were talking about it after. We were trying to figure out what was going on. It's so bad. And then we talked to her brother, or she talked to her brother for me, who has played the game, and he pointed out that this game came out in 2009. It was popular then. The humor, he described the humor as dumb and crude that doesn't work anymore. And, the games, I do know, I was doing some research, have had some controversy with some of the things involved, and okay, fine, whatever. But if this adaptation had come out closer to, I think maybe I would have bought it more. I would like to think in the last decade plus that we have refined our palates a little bit more. And don't get me wrong, I love a dumb comedy. I love a whatever, great, fine, into it. But it has to be amusing. And this is, there's no entertainment value in this. Like, Jack Black as the voice of a robot, I'm like, okay, fine. This at least should be Jack Black, right? No, somehow they even managed to mute him down and make him not entertaining. Like, they don't give him enough time to deliver lines. They run him through like a robot voice thing. He plays Claptrap, if you're familiar with the games. And it's just like, he's supposed to be sassy and whatnot, but it just doesn't work. Nothing about this seems to work. And again, so I have a working theory. The last time I asked the question, why did Cate Blanchett agree to do this? I looked it up. It actually happened to also be an Eli Roth film that also stars Jack Black. It's called The House with a Clock in Its Walls. And yes, I am bringing up this conspiracy theory to pretty much everyone because I was like, is this a secret? We're going to get a vacation home for ourselves out of this movie group text chat. And they're like, guys, what if we do this movie together? It'll be whatever, but we're going to get paid and we can all, buy a new home and wherever. Because that's the only reason I can think for agreeing to do this film in this day and age. If you had done it when it came out and it was super popular and all that stuff, maybe I'd be a little more forgiving towards this. But the VFX are mediocre, but with a budget that it had, I'm like, come on, can you guys do better? The sets and the props felt empty. The action sequences were not exciting. It's you're based on a video game that's like an action video game and all this stuff. You'd think at least can we try and port over some of the excitement and choreography from those, but nope. Can't do that either. I didn't really feel like there were consequences or stakes to anything. The characters were grating. Again, I love Cate Blanchett, but even she had this like pasted on smirk through the whole thing. And I was just like, oh, she's hiding the deadness inside, or she's counting down until she can actually get to the vacation home that this film is funding. Those are the only two options here. Academy Award winners. Come on. Oh, man. I think, honestly, you will probably be even angrier if you like the games, especially the first one, and have like an affinity towards it, and you see this, because I don't think this is going to do anything for you. And then if you have no idea what's going on, and you're just like, I've never heard of this, please don't go see this film. Don't do it. The only redeeming thing was, could it be so bad it's good? No, it wasn't even that. My friend and I kept looking at each other during the film. There was one line from Jack Black I think we laughed at, and then also like Bobby Lee showed up randomly for 2 scenes, and we're Bobby Lee fans, and we were just like, yay, one moment of respite from this sad existence. Like, Borderlands takes place, I haven't even talked about the plot yet. Oh my god. Plot is being generous. It takes place on a desolate homeland called Pandora. There is this vault that everybody is looking for. Cate Blanchett is Lilith. She plays a bounty hunter, and Edgar Ramirez plays the CEO who tasks her with retrieving his daughter, who has been kidnapped by Kevin Hart. Again, nothing in this makes sense at all. I was also reading the video game plots, and I was like, I don't think any of this comes from this. So why did you write all this lore that is bad? It's like, you had at least a few things to go off of. How did you overcomplicate this and make it so much worse than it already was? Oh my god, please don't see this film. Like I was saying, could it be so bad it's good? Debatable at this point. I feel like, since so many people are being so critical towards it, somebody's going to be tempted to go. I'm like, if you want to do that, that's your time and your money or whatever. But my recommendation is just wait until it's going to be out on streaming, because this is inevitably going to be on streaming. I don't think this has the makings of a cult classic. The nicest thing I will say about it is under 2 hours, although we had so many previews in ours. I discussed this long and hard with my friend. I'm going to give it a 1.5 out of 5. The reason I am not giving it a 0 is because it was technically a fully formed film with a beginning, middle, and end. While it was probably too easy to follow, I was able to follow it. It's also not going out of its way to be offensive, which I think with something like Borderlands as a source, or just the video game, adaptations in general, they can kind of over-index on trying to be grotesque or crude or, homophobic, whatever it is. It didn't do that. So it's the bare minimum of it qualified as a film. 1.5 out of 5 for Borderlands for me. The next film I have this week is called The Instigators, and y'all, this was a brutal week, and I fell on my sword to hopefully save you all from the pain of watching the things that I did. There is one good thing, but I will talk about that next. So, The Instigators is a new action crime drama comedy from Doug Liman, why? He has actually done some decent things. I know that the Roadhouse remake was questionable. I didn't hate it, but he's the guy who brought us The Bourne Identity, starring Matt Damon, and this also stars Matt Damon and Casey Affleck. And I have such a problem with Casey Affleck, read up on the quote allegations, but believe victims. And I truly debated whether or not I should even talk about this film, because, it's effectively giving him a platform and spotlighting the work, but I want to caution you away from it. I don't take things like this lightly, whether or not I should talk about a film, that type of thing. And Casey Affleck has, creative production credits or something along those lines in this. So already, not gonna lie, kind of inclined to dislike it, but I always try and go into films with an open mind. But nope, this film was just also bad. So Matt Damon and Casey Affleck both play criminals who are instructed to commit a robbery, and then things just go horrifically awry, and then, things get more and more complicated. It's just a web of mishaps and escalating the situation. The film also stars Hong Chow, who I'm like, Hong Chow, you deserve so much better than this. Why did you agree to be in this? And oh my god, even she can't save the film. It stars Michael Stuhlbarg, who I think is a great actor. This is the thing. The cast for this is relatively stacked, and so the fact that I think this speaks to the kind of nepotism of the power of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, who serves as a producer on this, and their Rolodex getting people to actually participate in this. But I'm like, guys, I know the budget cannot have been anywhere near something like a Borderlands, so you're doing this as a favor to the Damon Affleck group, and oh man, what is the price of your dignity here? So anyway, Hong Chow stars Michael Stuhlbarg, who I think is such a great actor, Paul Walter Hauser, Ving Rhames, Alfred Molina, Toby Jones, Ron Perlman, and Jack Harlow's also in it. I don't have a problem with Jack Harlow necessarily. I'm just like, oh, I didn't know that was Jack Harlow, but pretty decent cast all around, except for, Casey Affleck. And I'm not it's really hard to separate art from artist, etc., etc. But I would argue that even if you were not aware of his just bad behavior, you would agree that this is not an interesting movie. The plot is ridiculous, but not even in a fun, escalating, ridiculous way. It's just like, oh, everyone here is stupid, and they are doing even more stupid things. They probably deserve the end that is coming to them, and then, logical characters behave in a way that is just like, well, you had me until you were also, I need to find a better word than stupid, but this film has potentially rotted my brain. The action sequences, much like Borderlands, not that exciting. The dialogue, definitely not exciting. A lot of Boston accents, which, fine, whatever, but I think this film thinks it is so much more clever than the audience, and it is trying to overcompensate so hard, and the banter just, there's no chemistry there, and it just, oh my god, this was brutal to watch. For a while, I was considering giving it a, about an on-par rating with Borderlands, because I was like, at least I can watch this from the comfort of my home, because it's on Apple TV+. But then the end of the film happened, and I went, this is insulting, this is bad, nope. Minus points. So I am going to give this a 1.3 out of 5. I probably should give it lower because it actually does have a few offensive things in it. And I'm like, you can't just go, oh, we're from Boston, we get to be offensive, because there are plenty of people from Boston who are not offensive. But it could have been worse, I guess. Anyway, this is all to say, don't watch this film. With something like Borderlands, I'm like, okay, cool, you can watch this from the comfort of your home eventually when it's on streaming. This is already on streaming, and I think it is in your best interest to just skip it entirely. 1.3 out of 5 for the Instigators. The last thing I have this week is definitely not going to be for everyone, but I had so much fun watching it, and it's also still going. It's called The Influencer, and it's out on Netflix, and it is a Korean competition show. And yes, I know, subtitles, barrier to entry, etc., etc., but this was fascinating. If you enjoyed Physical 100, I think you'll actually like this show as well. There's no physical competition in it so far, or at least not in a way that's like inspiring, I guess. But the idea behind it is that Netflix brought together 77 of Korea's top social media influencers, but they're across different platforms, they have different expertise, etc. And then they put them together in a competition, and it's interesting to see how they try and calibrate, trying to equalize and score points, because it's not just about followers. They set forth challenges for them. There's some interesting meta stuff about positive reinforcement and like engagement versus just being a troll, and negative reinforcement and engagement. And it's interesting to see, especially having this be set in Korea, like I don't know if you could do this in the US, honestly. Just the cultural idea behind, I don't think there are as many people who are negative in their content there. And so them having to grapple with that idea and clickbait stuff and all, it's fascinating. And also just the mental games they play with these people. Some of the people are actually like competition show related influencers. And so they're thinking about the meta of it. And I found myself fascinated by all of this. And I, will fully acknowledge, not familiar with any of the creators on the show, which you don't need to be in order to enjoy this. You kind of just understand, I think social media has permeated our culture so much that there's a shorthand and you're like, okay, you're a beauty creator. Okay, you're a travel creator. Okay, like you're a comedian. Okay, you do eating stuff, or you're a cosplayer. There are 4 episodes out now. I believe the next set of episodes drop on Tuesday. But if you like Physical 100, if you like these kind of social experiment things, it's also, the nice thing about it is it's relatively polite. Like any of the toxicity doesn't feel that bad, and like this might be a cultural thing and all that stuff, but yeah, this was a fun one. So The Influencer is streaming on Netflix.